welcome back to Tried, Tested, and True Instant Pot Cooking. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 26 things not to do with your Instant Pot. This is going to be a great video for beginners. I think it's really going to help if you just got your Instant Pot, so make sure you watch till the end and let's go. Two things really quick. The first one, I got a lot of comments on my last 26 tips video that you didn't like the music that was playing throughout the video. So I'm gonna be doing a little experiment to not put any music on while I'm talking. And so in the comments, please tell me if you like that better or if you don't care. Second thing is, this is my third week on YouTube and it has been so amazing after I launched my channel. Thank you so much for all of the views, the likes, the comments. It means so much to me. Just make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a single video. I'm starting out this year with an Instant Pot 101 series, and I'm going to be sharing new content every single week, so make sure you go and subscribe. Number 1, don't put your Instant Pot on the stovetop. Don't put your Instant Pot on the stovetop, especially if you have a glass one like this, because I cannot tell you how many people and pictures I've seen of people who have destroyed the bottoms of their pots because someone mistakenly turns it on. Number 2, don't make a full main dish as the first thing you make in your Instant Pot. I just want you to try something really simple, something low risk, so you don't destroy dinner time and you lose confidence in your pot. Just make something super easy like eggs or broccoli or potatoes. Just do a side dish. Don't do the main thing the first time you do it because you might get frustrated. Number 3, don't do a quick release when you make soup or anything that has a lot of liquid in the Instant Pot. If you do a quick release when you have soup or something that has a lot of liquid in your Instant Pot, it will start spurting out. There is so much pressure in there and there's so much liquid that's really close to that sealing knob. So stuff will come spurting out and you might get freaked out and discouraged and it's not safe, so just don't do it. Number 4, don't pick up your Instant Pot by the handle. What I mean by this, if you use this little handle right here to pick it up and move it, that's just not super safe. Instead, use the sides right here and lift it up like this. If you lift up your Instant Pot by the handle, the lid could rotate off like this, and everything could fall out, and that would be really bad. So don't do it. Number 5. Don't cover your sealing knob with anything like a rag or anything like that. I see a lot of advice on the internet about covering this with something, but don't do it. It will void the manufacturer's warranty and it could just lead to some safety issues. Number 6, don't cook in your Instant Pot without the liner. Don't put anything in the base without the liner. This is the heating element, and if you dump food in there, it will not work. It's basically like just dumping food on top of your stovetop without a pan. Number 7. Now this was my most popular post of 2018 on Instagram, and if you haven't already followed me on Instagram, take out your phone and follow me at Instant Pot Cooking. Okay, don't store your Instant Pot with the lid on. If you keep the lid on while you're storing your Instant Pot when you're not using it, all these smells will just trap in here and it will just stink. So this is my tip. Just store the lid upside down like this and these smells will all dissipate and it will be so much better. Number 8, don't use too much liquid. If you use more liquid in your Instant Pot than a recipe calls for, it takes longer to come to pressure, it takes longer to depressurize, and since there's more steam and moisture in there, it overcooks your food. Number 9, don't go out and buy a whole bunch of accessories right after you buy your Instant Pot. If you've watched my best Instant Pot accessories to buy and avoid video, you know that my advice is to not buy anything until after you've used your pot a lot and you get used to it and you know what to buy. Number 10, don't expect anything that comes out of the Instant Pot to be crispy, fried, baked, light, or airy. Even baked goods will be dense because everything in the Instant Pot cooks with steam and moisture. It's not ever going to be baked like in an oven. Number 11, don't store your sealing ring in the lid. So you know how I already told you to put your lid on top of your Instant Pot like this when you're storing it, but on top of that, take this out. Take this out when you're storing it and just put it somewhere else, or you can even just set it on top like that, because if this is pressed up against the lid, that will also trap the smells in the sealing ring. Number 12, don't sear anything in the Instant Pot without deglazing it after. You know that the saute feature is the best feature on the Instant Pot because you can sear stuff in the pot before pressure cooking. But if you take a piece of meat and you sear on each side to try and lock in that flavor, but then you don't deglaze that pot with some liquid and scrape the bottom of the pot off, you will get a burn error and you do not want that. Number 13, don't put your face, your hands, your shoulders, knees, and toes, nothing. Don't put anything over the sealing pin when you're releasing the pressure. So when you do a quick release, when you go from venting to sealing, from sealing to venting, it will go like, shh. Don't put anything over it. You will burn yourself. Number 14, don't move your Instant Pot while it's pressure cooking. If you have your Instant Pot on the counter, let's say, and you want to take it on a road trip or something, don't do that. Just leave it where it is, because if you move it, this can like depressurize. It can just let the pressure out and it's just not safe. Number 15, don't try to take off your Instant Pot lid before the pin has fully dropped on its own. It can be tempting sometimes, like after the pressure comes down most of the way, it kind of loosens up and you can kind of wiggle a little bit, or it can be tempting to push the pin down. But please don't do this, because I have actually tried this myself, and like the lid will come off, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the pressure has all come down. That means that if you take the lid off before it has depressurized, it's going to still be boiling. It could come out over the edge, and that is not what you want. Number 16, don't get hung up over all of these buttons. These buttons on here are mostly just presets, and the only buttons you really need are the saute button, the pressure cook, or manual button, depending on which model and make you have. And that's pretty much it. So don't worry about the other buttons, they're just presets. So some models have them and some models don't. Number 17, if you're following an Instant Pot recipe, don't expect your food to be done based on just the cook time. The cook time on an Instant Pot recipe is just the time that it is actively pressure cooking. A recipe also takes time to come up to pressure and to release the pressure. So if a recipe calls for, say, a 5-minute cook time, it might take about 5 to 10 minutes to come up to pressure, and then depending on if it has a natural pressure release or a quick pressure release, it can take anywhere from 2 to 10 minutes to release the pressure. Number 18, don't throw away your food if it's undercooked. I see this all the time on the Instant Pot community on Facebook. A ton of people say, I cooked my chicken or I cooked my potatoes and it's totally destroyed because I opened it and it was undercooked, so I just had to throw it away. And I'm like, don't do that. Just put the lid back on, make sure there's enough liquid in there, and just cook it for like an additional 5 minutes or so. Just add a little bit more cook time and it will be just fine. Don't throw your food away. Number 19. This is not a slow cooker, so don't leave food in it all day long. A lot of people think that you can just use the timer to delay the cook time until like they get home from work, because they're used to a slow cooker which cooks all day and it's done when you get home from work. But if you put some food in here in the morning and just set the timer for it to cook 8 hours later, your food will not be safe to eat. So don't put food in your Instant Pot on the timer setting unless you know that the food is not going to go bad in that time that you set. Number 20, don't forget to turn your knob from venting to sealing every single time you cook. It will never come to pressure and it will never tell you that it's not on sealing if you don't turn it to sealing. So don't ever forget. I've actually seen people who use like metallic Sharpies. Have you seen those metallic Sharpies? They're like gold or silver, and they'll outline like the open and the close and the venting and the ceiling. And so it kind of stands out a little bit more. Don't forget to do that. Number 21, don't use dairy as your cooking liquid when you're pressure cooking. This is because when you use dairy like milk or cream or anything that has dairy in it, if it comes to a boil, it can curdle or burn. Number 22, don't forget about this little thing back here called the condensation collector. Make sure that you clean this out occasionally because this will fill up with all sorts of cooking liquid and it can start to mold, so don't forget about it and don't forget to clean it out. Number 23, don't touch the top of your Instant Pot while it's pressure cooking. When you're pressure cooking, the sides of your Instant Pot get warm, but the top gets really freaking hot, so don't touch the top of it. Number 24, don't think of the slow cook feature on your Instant Pot is the same as a traditional slow cooker or crock pot. The slow cook feature on an Instant Pot actually cooks at a much lower temperature, so a recipe that calls for 4 to 5 hours might take up to double that amount of time. Number 25, don't preheat your Instant Pot for foods that cook really quickly unless the recipe says so. I always tell people to preheat your Instant Pot so it comes to pressure faster, but for foods that cook for about 8 minutes or less, I don't recommend it. That's because the preheating time will take away from the cook time and your food could be undercooked. For example, broccoli only cooks for 0 minutes, but if I preheat the pot, it'll come to pressure too quickly and it will miss out on that cook time while the pot is warming up. Number 26, this is our last tip. Don't use an extension cord with your Instant Pot unless you have extra time. It always takes longer for my pot to come to pressure, for the saute to get hot when I'm connected to an extension cord. Okay, if you liked these 26 Instant Pot don'ts, make sure you watch my next video. I'll link it right here, which is 26 Instant Pot tips, great for beginners. Okay, see you next time.